Now we're going to move to the area of housing, homelessness, food security, and seniors, kind of all in one. I want to invite first Stuart Highland, who is Organizing Director of Housing Leadership Council of San Mateo County, to speak from the housing perspective.
Well, thank you, Georgia and Petra, for hosting today. Housing Leadership Council of San Mateo County is a membership organization that works with our partners to preserve and expand the range and supply of adequate, accessible, and affordable housing for residents and workers of San Mateo County. We organize to ensure that everyone who works here, lives here, or grows up here can obtain a suitable home. I want to say that the Vulnerable Population Subcommittee, where I participated, was really well represented in the report. I want to commend staff on pulling together a lot of different points of view and in a coherent way where we can see what's happening. Before I go much further, I just want to say what I heard from Sarah and Mark, I think are critical around equitable change that's going to last. One thing that we're concerned about is a long-term vision to come out of this recovery. And our work in Housing Leadership Council has taught us that what's existed before, not having healthy, stable housing that you can afford without 2 or 3 jobs or 3 to 5 jobs, is really even more critical now. However we come out of this recovery, the new normal cannot be a repeat of what's happened. There should be real change, and we should use this time to really. So in thinking about long-term, we're very much concerned with renters' debt. So the rental assistance that's considered in the plan has to be distributed equitably. And so our concern about that is how does it get to small landlords in places that are predominantly people of color, where they may just have like 1 extra unit or something like that, where they're trying to build wealth as people of color. How are they going to be reached? So we're really concerned about making those connections in a way that's culturally appropriate, language appropriate, and in many cases utilizes the faith community. So in implementation of that, developing that really robust information sharing is essential. So making sure that folks will be able to access rental assistance, or in some cases mortgage assistance. And we've had some success with that, with our mayor participating in East Palo Alto and directly with Samaritan House. So there's some really good examples of success where it's happened, but we need to continue that. And so one of the things that we would like to see from HLC is a map of service providers that sort of matches geographically with the with the allies in those particular geographic areas. And if it's not complete, how to expand that deeper, so that again we have that robust information delivery that's culturally appropriate and also trusted in those communities. We also encourage really strongly partnering with affordable housing developers who have tenants who are in a position where they're in a healthy home, they're able to shelter in place safely, but they don't have income coming in. And so how can we partner with them to make sure that they remain safely housed? We're thinking of all the usual lobbying points, like at state and federal level for Section 8 HUD or emergency service grants. But as I was just reminded in the chat by one of my policy committee members, partnering with the private and corporate community to help do this as well. And all of this really does come back to the whole idea of the COVID in a very real sense, in that sheltering in place makes it clear that housing is healthcare. It's essential to not only a good quality of life in supposedly normal times when we just had to deal with poverty, to the point where we're dealing with poverty and a pandemic. So again, I want to reiterate, I actually want to echo what Mark was saying earlier about change the way that we do things so that when we come out of this recovery, it's a recovery for everyone. And starting first with those to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stuart. Really appreciate your comments.